So let's talk about pressure and the effect that it's going to play on turkey hunting. Now, in today's society, especially, you know, with your social media and your television shows and all that, turkey hunting is a lot more popular than it was, say, even 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It's a lot more popular, you know, let's just face it. And there's pros and cons to everything in life, all right? There's pros and cons to it all. The pros of turkey hunting becoming a popular sport is the fact that turkey hunting as a whole is pretty safe for the future, all right, and that's a good thing. And I think it's a great thing that we have more turkey hunters that's out there and buying products and wanting to learn how to turkey hunt and staying off the streets and not doing bad things that they could be doing, and getting kids involved, getting people that's never turkey hunted out and letting them experience what we've all experienced over years and years. The cons of it is that with the rise of turkey hunting and with the rise of new people going out there that's maybe inexperienced, don't know what they're doing like some of us do, then you're going to have more pressure on your public lands and a lot of your private lands, where let's say you're hunting a big block of private, or maybe a small block of private, but you've got a big block that you couldn't hunt on this side of the fence or that side of the fence, and then, you know, you've had it kind of all to yourself as far as like no pressure on that big block in there. Even though you could only hunt that small piece of private, all the turkeys on the neighbors wasn't pressured, and you could call them on over. Whereas now, you know, you've got nephews and sons and grandsons, and you've got friends, and you've got, you know, on the opposite sides, on Farmer Jones and Farmer Fred over here, that they're just going through there and putting pressure on the turkeys in the surrounding areas, and it's making it harder for you, where used to it wasn't too hard for you to keep turkeys gobbling all in your area, and it made you feel good. So, you know, there's pros and cons to it all, and a lot of guys, you know, they get a little bit aggravated at me because, oh, don't tell all these secrets, don't tell all these things, because we want to not encourage people to get out there and hunt. Well, that's just crazy. You know, what if somebody felt like that when you started turkey hunting, you know? But there's people out there that's like that, and it used to be worse years and years ago. Where people didn't want to share secrets, and they didn't want to share anything about turkey hunting because it was kind of a closed society almost. But because they don't want pressure, all right? They don't want pressure on the turkeys, and I understand that. Hey, I much rather hunt a place where there's less pressure because it's just more enjoyable to me. However, you're not going to be able to have that, especially in today's society. So what do? When you're dealing with pressure turkeys, and I know many of you stay on public lands pretty much the whole season, and you're dealing with more and more pressure, what do you do? Okay, all right, there's a lot of things you can do that will put the odds in your favor when it comes to hunting areas like that, and we're going to discuss that for a little bit in this video. All right, let's say it's the middle to the last part of March, 1st of April. You're out there fishing maybe, and you're listening on that public land. You hear turkeys gobbling. You're thinking, oh boy, all right. Or maybe you're out riding around on your hunting area on private, and you're stopping on the road and listening to turkeys, and they're gobbling, and you're going, boy, all right, this has got a good hatch this year. It's going to be a good one. I've got a feeling it's going to be a good turkey season. A lot of gobbling right now. But let's say 2 or 3 weeks later, your turkey season opens, and the first morning they're gobbling good, second morning they're gobbling all right, by the third morning they're starting to get more quiet, fourth, fifth, and it goes on, and the gobbling starts going way down. All right, now this is where the term call shy comes in. This is the old myth that some of you still believe that, well, see, people went in there and started calling, they got call shy. No, they didn't get call shy. There's never been a call shy turkey. There's never been a turkey that's shied away from a call. What happened was, it's pressure shy, it's human shy, it's intrusion shy. The more pressure you put on that piece of property, whether it's private or public, the more pressure you put on that piece of property, the less that gobbling is going to happen. And why is that? Well, because they feel that intrusion. They feel that there's something in there that is not right. Now, they don't know that you're a human with a gun that's trying to kill them. They don't think like that. But what they do see is they see something that's not supposed to be there, and it's coming after them. It's chasing them. It's moving toward them. And so anything that's a threat to them and their instincts, and it's a threat, they're going to go quiet, because every time a turkey opens their mouth, they know that they're in danger of something trying to get them. Whether it's you, whether it's a bobcat, whether it's a coyote, whether it's an owl, whatever the case, a hawk, you know, there's a lot of things out there that will try to kill a turkey. And every time they open their mouth, they're in danger of exposing where they're at. So the more pressure that you put on that piece of property, the less gobbling is going to happen. So how do you prevent that? Do you know there's things you can do that will keep your turkeys gobbling more and more, especially if you hunt private. But many times, turkey hunters are the very cause, because of bad decisions and bad things we do, you know, during that season, we're the cause of them shutting up because we didn't hunt smart. And so we wind up making them human shy, or, you know, intrusion shy, and not call shy. But a call shy is just an excuse that people use to try to cover up their bad mistakes. Let me give you some examples of some things I've seen over the years, what I call shortcuts, and what I've called lazy turkey hunters that's caused pressure. I've been on properties before, you know, private properties, where I've been hunting, and all of a sudden another guy on the neighbor or maybe the property I hunt, you know, it's got another turkey hunter on it, they'll run a four-wheeler right up, you know, right at daylight or before daylight, they'll run a four-wheeler right up to where they want to hunt, shut it off, start calling, you know, or start owl hooting. All right, or they'll run trucks, or they'll drive through open fields, or they'll walk through an open field at the crack of daylight. They'll just walk through an open field instead of staying in the timber. They'll do all these little shortcuts, I call them, and it causes turkeys that may never gobble, but they see you out there, or they hear that vehicle. And I know people say, well, it's farmland, they're used to four-wheelers, they're used to trucks. They're used to it when you're out there away from that property, feeding cows, doing whatever you're doing. But the moment you start getting into their sanctuary, the moment you start pushing into their area, and it's a little bit off and they know something ain't quite right, it shuts them down. So what you need to do is get off your four-wheeler and walk. All right, I know some of you don't like that, but if you're able to walk, get off your four-wheeler and walk. Four-wheelers screw turkeys up. I don't care what anybody says, four-wheelers screw turkeys up when it comes to pushing in all the time. But people do it because they get lazy. Walking through open fields, walking down hardwood ridges in the early season, or you know, like right now when the woods are still open, they'll walk right down a hardwood ridge, be skyline, turkeys down in the hollers that never gobble. They look up, they see something moving, and they're up there calling, you know, turkey hunters up there calling, and the gobblers won't gobble. And the turkey hunters say, well, there ain't no turkeys around here no more. You know, they just ain't gobbling. Well, it's because you are doing all these crazy things that's causing more pressure, and they know they're being hunted. So what you need to do is change your tactics on how you approach your hunting area. What you need to do is not move as much. Don't be running the gun so much if you're in a high pressure place. Move when you have to, set up and stay longer, be more patient, soft call more, and hunt the turkeys without them knowing that you're in there. And that means you setting up longer and not trying to be some TV personality that's running through the whole public land or running through the whole private land you've got, trying to run and gun like they do in some 5,000 acre ranch where there's no pressure, and you're trying to hunt turkeys the same way. When you're dealing with pressure turkeys, you have to hunt them different. And you have to learn how to slip in there and be more quiet and call a different way and just hunt them, because they're still there. They didn't leave the county, they didn't leave the region just because there's people in there after them, or just because, you know, that they're being pressured. You've got to figure it out. You've got to be the smarter one. You got to be the smarter hunter that goes in there in the midst of a bunch of people and kills turkeys when nobody else is. And believe me, it can be done. I've done it. You know, a lot of you that's watched have done it, but you have to keep the pressure off, as far as you, off of the turkeys that you know that's in there. And you can do this just by learning how to move in the woods a different way. Instead of walking down a ridge and calling on a ridge, get on the side. Get on the side, you know, and walk the bench. I mean, little things like that. Instead of walking through an open field because it's a shortcut and you don't have to walk so far from one side to the other, go around. Stay in the timber if you have to. You know, walk down a creek drainage. You know, last year in Ohio, there was, on this property I was hunting, there was a big old creek, and some of you may have seen it in my Ohio hunting video there. There was this great big old creek that had big old creek banks all the way up it. Guess what? That thing went almost around that whole area I was hunting. You know where I spent most of the day walking? Down in the creek. I didn't stay up there, you know, level with where the turkeys was at. I stayed down in the creek bottom, and a lot of times I was down in that creek bottom calling, and I got turkeys to gobble, but they didn't see me because I was down in that creek. Little things like that, and that was a pressure place too, and little things like that caused me to be more successful because I didn't just take shortcuts and just go through there and trying to hunt a place like somebody on a 5,000 acre ranch does where there's no hunting pressure. You can do this, and don't be mad because more people's out there hunting. Be glad that the turkey hunting is rising in popularity, but also realize that with that comes more pressure. But you, that's right, you can figure this out. You can get in there and learn how to turkey hunt a better way, a different way, and be successful on the most pressured turkeys because you are a human being with a bigger brain. You can outsmart these jokers. You can learn how to get in there and do things differently. And don't be mad because people's out there hunting. Get in there and figure this out. But if you want more turkeys to gobble on your property, especially you private land guys, learn how to hunt turkeys a different way without them knowing that you're in there trying to hunt them. You deer hunters do it. All of us deer hunters, we talk about access. We talk about, you know, going on in the right wind. We talk about all this stuff to let them mature bucks know that we're not there. Why don't we try that in turkey hunting? You know why we don't? You've heard me say it here before. Because we're hunting turkeys with our ears and we're just going through their calling, waiting for that response. That's how we've accustomed ourselves to hunt. But when you're dealing with gobblers, that's not gobbling much due to pressure. You've got to learn how to hunt them the same way as you hunt a deer. Let them think that everything's the same and there's nothing weird in there that's invaded their area. Little things like this can help you increase your gobbling throughout the season, but you gotta hunt them smart. Pressure turkeys are tough, but you are tougher. Get out there. Be smart this turkey season. Don't be mad at your neighbors, and don't be mad at the young people out there that's messing everything up, you know, around you. Don't be mad. They're just trying to learn too, like we all did. But you figure these turkeys out. Go in right in the midst of them. When somebody's up there crow calling, when somebody's up there yakking, go right in the midst of them. Find these turkeys, set up, and kill them. You can do it. You just got to hunt them smart, and you got to stay mentally sharp. Don't let pressure turkeys discourage you. You can be successful. Thank you for viewing this video, and make sure to take time to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you'll be notified when Dale Outdoors uploads their videos every single week. We'll be bringing you educational videos like this one, and also when turkey season gets here, we'll be bringing you turkey hunts, so you don't want to miss any of it. Also, check out all of our great sponsors that helps us in the links below. Check out Tidewe.com where you can get a lot of great products over there. Just use that promo code DALE where you can get even a better percentage off through the promo code. Check out Stoker Shotguns. Check out Spring Fever Custom Calls where you can get my signature line of Matt Dale Old Sly series of turkey calls. You don't want to miss out on any of it. And check out Kona Scopes and all the other great sponsors we have in the links below. We really appreciate you watching this video. Until the next one, you be safe out there and get that big old gobbler this coming spring.